Sometimes, unknowingly, we consider others responsible for mistakes in which they are not at fault. Last year, I had a mysterious encounter with such an unknown person, someone who proved this truth to me. Hey, brother, now by living with these dead, it seems like we're all one family. Yes, you're right. After all, we have to take care of them like any living human being. This happened last year. I was very worried about work. One day, I met Neraz, or maybe God sent him to me in the form of an angel. Because of him, I got the job of a mortician. Without much thought, I accepted the offer. That day, as we were handling the dead bodies as usual, I heard the sound of some bells while carrying a body on a stretcher. Oops, what kind of sound is that? I removed the cloth covering the corpse and saw that it was a girl. There was a glowing anklet on her legs from which the sound was coming. But surprisingly, she didn't look like any other corpse. Her skin wasn't completely dry, and her temperature was normal instead of cold. I thought maybe she was still alive. But after reading the report placed nearby, I dropped the idea. Just then, I heard Neeraj's voice. "Anand, what are you thinking? Quickly put her in the freezer." I didn't tell Neeraj anything about the corpse at that time. But had I told him, maybe what happened next could have been avoided. I carried the body to the freezer room. I'd been there many times, but that day I felt unusually scared. I found an empty slot and placed the body inside. Just as I was about to leave, I heard something. The voice broke the silence of the freezer room. It was so big that the sound echoed from everywhere, making it impossible to tell where it came from. I was terrified and immediately ran out, closing the freezer door in panic. "Brother, are you okay?" I told him about the voice. I thought he must have heard it too. It was so loud. But surprisingly, he hadn't heard anything. How could that be? Trying to calm myself, I began drinking water. Just then, something happened that made the glass slip from my hand. In the corner of the morgue, I saw the same girl hanging from the ceiling beam. I immediately ran to her to bring her down somehow. When I tried to touch her legs, my hands passed through them as if she wasn't really there. I tried several times, but it was no use. Just then, I heard Neeraj walking behind me. I turned to tell him, but the girl vanished in an instant. "What happened?" "Something wrong?" he asked. I couldn't answer how she suddenly disappeared. I told Neeraj everything, but he brushed it off, saying I was tired and hallucinating. Still, these strange events pointed to something bigger, something I couldn't yet understand. We went back to work. After a long time, I noticed an odd silence in the morgue. I looked around. Neeraj, Neeraj, Neeraj. I called out several times but got no response. I searched everywhere. The only place left was the freezer room. I went inside and looked around. Nothing, just dead bodies. Then I heard a scream from one corner. I ran toward it and found Neeraj. I was shocked he was tied up. His hands and feet were bound tightly, and more than half of his body was frozen. He was shivering badly. How was this possible? No one else was in the morgue. As I tried to untie him, someone approached from behind. "What's the hurry, huh?" I had never heard such a terrifying voice before. Then came the sound of anklets, getting closer. I turned around in fear and saw the same girl. She stood right in front of me, but now she had transformed into a witch. With her magical power, she threw me backward. I fell into a pile of dead bodies. Trapped under them, I watched in horror as the witch dragged Niraj toward her. "No, please. Please leave us," I begged, but she didn't listen. Even today, I get goosebumps thinking about what happened next. Niraj's hands and feet untied on their own. A stretcher rolled toward the witch. Niraj lay on it, trembling and pleading. But the witch was merciless. Like an executioner, she extended her hands. Her fingernails grew long and sharp, then she tore open Niraj's chest. It was horrific. I began sweating. After killing Niraj, the witch looked at me. With her powers, she flung away all the dead bodies covering me. "It's your turn next," she growled with a wicked laugh. That's when I noticed the anklet on her feet glowing brightly. I understood it must be important to her. I knew I was risking my life, but I had to avenge Niraj. I picked up a nearby knife, hiding it behind me, and slowly moved toward her. But fear overtook me. I lost balance and fell to the floor. "PH, I don't like to wait," she said. Using her powers, she dragged me across the cold floor to her feet. I saw her anklets up close and realized maybe God was with me after all. Without wasting a second, I cut her anklet with the knife. The bells shattered and scattered all over. "Stupid boy, what have you done?" Suddenly, she transformed into a beautiful young woman about 25 years old. "Today, because of you, I am free from this curse." I was stunned. She told me her name was Menika. Years ago, an evil exorcist wanted to marry her and sacrifice her for power. When she refused, he cursed her, dooming her to an undead state. Anyone who tried to cremate her body would be killed by her witch form. Because of this, she ended up in the morgue, among the dead. I turned into a witch, and I killed your friend. Please forgive me, if you can. Even though I had freed her by cutting the anklet, my friend would never return. Whether I could forgive her or not, I didn't know, but I couldn't stop my tears. Menika gently wiped them. "It's time for me to go," she said. "I hope that the way you took care of me while I was dead, you'll take care of others the same way." Saying this, Menika slowly disappeared. But I still remember her final words that gave value and honor to my work as a mortician.